Franklin Frank Nitty Session, born January 23, 1989. If you haven't been on a basketball hiatus or living under a rock in Albuquerque somewhere, then you've heard of this guy. A player that burst on the scene after destroying NBA bum Denzel Valentine in the summer of 2018. He's a social media star that is not only famous for that, but also winning the highly touted Drew League MVP an astonishing 3 times. Not bad from a guy fresh off the Verizon Wireless freshly mopped floor in some church shoes and a tight-ass red shirt, right? Can you hear me now? But why wasn't he, unlike Valentine, able to make the ultimate league? Let's get into it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth. Get it, man. Stunt number 1, late bloomer. As in, really late to the party. It happened to a lot of us for one reason or the other. For Frank, he just wasn't in love with the game at an early age like most stories of success you hear. He was actually a skateboarder with aspiration of participating in the X Games or some shit. That's until one of his coaches convinced him he could be a good player and possibly be able to acquire a scholarship to college. Frank's raw athleticism was obvious, but his game was just not up to par with players that had an earlier beginning in his class. Therefore, he was a 2-star recruit ranked outside of the top 100. He would play his first collegiate season at Irvine Valley College and second year at Saddleback Junior College, where he was named All-California Community College First Team and MVP of the Orange Empire Conference. Had he gotten off to an earlier start, he may have had a better chance at a bigger school earlier in his career. But was that the best thing for Session? Stunt number 2, lack of discipline for organized ball. Let me just say that this video isn't meant to disrespect Session in no way. Upon researching his story, I actually saw many relatable aspects between he and myself. After leaving his second junior college and now being a junior, Session transferred to Weber State, a school famous for being the alumni of NBA All-Star Damian Lillard. Nitty was expected to create an athletic, high-powered scoring backcourt with the future All-NBA team guard, but found himself in the doghouse constantly by Coach Rahi. Rahi's problem with Session was that he wasn't capable of playing in a system, and when told about it, he responded immaturely and dismissive. Dismiss is a very interesting word because it's exactly what happened to Nitty after just 1 year at Weber State. Rahi was quoted saying, "Frank was always a baller. He didn't come from a great background and all that stuff, so when it was discipline involved and accountability involved with us after his junior college career, that was something we tried to help him with, and he had a hard time adjusting to that. But he was good," Rahi said. He was highly talented, and when he was just playing and didn't have to think, kind of like pick a basketball, he was hard to deal with. But that's not how Division I colleges played, so it only worked out for a year and then he moved on.
Nigga, what the fuck?
Thank you, Coach Rahi. Back to what I was saying. Frank was dismissed from the team and transferred to Division II Cal State LA. He averaged 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists for Weber State. Sessions himself admitted that he was just not mature enough to keep his head down and play when challenged by the coaches. Rahi would try to discipline Frank in practice, and the guard refused to let the coach or anyone tell him how to play the game, and it stunted his growth. I'll say again, attitude determines your altitude. Stunt number 3, not a care in the world. In my opinion, the guys that begin life in love with other sports only to turn to basketball late don't have a great chance at becoming successful when making the switch. It's simple common sense. Nitty was also quoted saying how he never believed he was that good and didn't see himself becoming a pro because of his immaturity and quick temper. He always envisioned himself joining the workforce and being fine with that. Well, that's exactly what happened. Frank transferred to his 4th school in 4 years and averaged 16 points, 7 rebounds, and a conference-leading 2 steals per game, and was named first-team All-CCAA for Cal State. He graduated and was drafted into the D-League, but after being waived before the team's first game, he decided to join the workforce in Verizon Wireless. That didn't last long because he found himself playing on a whim in the Drew League, where he went up against NBA guards and took all to school. What he did to Valentine was just plain disrespectful, and he should have been given Valentine's contract as a reward. After becoming a 3-time league MVP, he joined the G League of the NBA, but was waived. He played overseas for a few years before finally playing in the Big Three. Sessions' story is quite inspiring, but also can be seen as an important lesson. Keep a positive attitude, young players. Don't wait until it's too late for you to finally want to change. Work hard, be respectful, and have a great attitude. You'll be unstoppable. I'm sure NITTY would agree. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth.